This is Autonomous Vehicles by Victoria Taylor Hauhuth, Alexandra Cook, Maddi McCarty, Kendall McMurtey, and Kelly McKinley, Project Group 1. Overview of autonomous vehicles. In our project, our group will be talking about the history of autonomous vehicles, information systems and technology involving autonomous vehicles, costs of autonomous vehicles, future costs of autonomous vehicles, benefits, risks, and future of autonomous vehicles. An autonomous vehicle, also known as a robot car, is a self-driving or driverless car that has the technology to sense its surroundings and move on its own with little to no help from humans. The history of autonomous vehicles goes all the way back to the 1800s and continues to progress immensely due to technology. The technology has continued to grow to current day to allow autonomous vehicles to become more common and popular for certain companies. Certain features have continued to be discovered, which in turn provide the vehicle with the ability to function without human input. Along with the technology increasing, the price is also increasing. The average cost of autonomous vehicles is much greater than that of a regular vehicle. Although autonomous vehicles are more expensive, they have in turn been proven to hold more benefits than risks. They are said to be safer than a regular vehicle due to all of the functions including braking and accelerating. The future of autonomous vehicles is continuing to grow, and they are expected to be a big part of our everyday lives. As you can see on this slide, autonomous vehicles are categorized into 5 different levels. Starting at level 0, this vehicle would consist of no automation, which means that the driver is in full control of the vehicle. Level 1 has driver assistance, meaning that the driver handles all accelerating, braking, and monitoring of the environment, but the vehicle has functions that can help assist with this. In level 2, we have partial automation, which means the vehicle can help assist with the driver functions such as steering, accelerating, etc. But the driver must be prepared to take over at any time. Level 3 has conditional automation, including sensors that allow the vehicle to have control of the surrounding environment. High automation is introduced in level 4, with the vehicle being able to steer, accelerate, brake, sense its surrounding environment. Finally, level 5 has complete automation, which requires no human input whatsoever. In level 5, there is no need for any features such as pedals or steering wheels because the vehicle is in charge of all tasks. Some of the main companies that have started making autonomous vehicles are Mercedes, Tesla, Ford, Toyota, Uber, Volvo, and Volkswagen. Shown above are some pictures of autonomous vehicles by Uber and Ford. These companies are pioneering the way for a future of autonomous vehicles, and with that can come great success or great failure.
Now that we have defined what an autonomous vehicle is, we will look into the developmental stages of how they came to be where they are today. As you can see, the thought of autonomous vehicles has been around for a long time, all the way back to 1925 when Francis Houdina invented a radio car which was able to start its own engine, shift its gears, and sound its own horn. In 1995, researchers Pomerleau and Todd Lockham take their autonomous minivan 2,797 miles from Pittsburgh to San Diego. Keep in mind, they did have control of the speed and braking. In 2003, Toyota's Japanese Prius offered an automatic parallel parking assistance. Soon after this, Lexus adds a similar system for its LS sedan. Following this, Ford comes out with its own active park assist in 2009, and 1 year later, BMW decides to add a parallel parking assistant. In 2013, major companies such as General Motors, Ford, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz are working on their own self-driving cars as well. Found in a previous study by Prodaviti, the estimated percentage of autonomous vehicles adoption is expected to increase rapidly over the next years. Autonomous vehicles are becoming more and more present. that, in fact, it is predicted that by the time 2050 comes around, owning an autonomous vehicle will be the norm for consumers. Keeping in mind this graph is a prediction, you can conclude by looking at the slide before that the predictions between 2010 and 2020 are accurate due to the fact that companies are already working on autonomous vehicles and have already had successes testing them out. Since this graph has proven to be accurate thus far, it seems that the other predictions should be proven to be true as well. That being said, by 2020, a numerous amount of autonomous vehicles should have a big presence on the highways, thus increasing the market for self-driving car features to a $42 billion market. By 2030, self-driving vehicles will be used for many things such as taxi, Uber, Lyft, food delivery, and many other things. 12 million autonomous vehicles are expected to be sold yearly by 2035, leading to 75% of all vehicles being autonomous. And of course, as stated previously, by 2050, it is expected that owning an autonomous vehicle will be the norm. Information systems and technology involved in autonomous vehicles. Because we have discussed the history and development of autonomous vehicles, it is important to look into the main information and technology systems involved in making them. As automobile manufacturers today strive to create vehicles that are increasingly autonomous, the capabilities of information systems and technology used in these cars continues to skyrocket. According to the Traffic Safety Store, even the most basic level of self-driving technology requires that cars be outfitted with advanced instruments to read and understand the surrounding environment to make decisions. These instruments include long-range radar, LiDAR, which is a laser scan program that helps to detect the edges of roads and identify lane markings by bouncing pulses of light off the car's surroundings, cameras, short and medium range radar, as well as ultrasound. One thing that automakers must also realize is that if they plan on the expansion of self-driving cars, the demand for all kinds of technology will increase. Not only will the cars themselves have to have extensive information and technology systems, but even traditional traffic equipment will need updated IS and IT. For example, beacons and sensors will be inserted into traffic cones and other road equipment that will be able to alert self-driving cars to potential roadway obstructions based on an article by the Traffic Safety Store. Now that we've covered the basic instruments of a self-driving vehicle, we will look at the basic hardware and software components of these vehicles. Our book defines hardware as the electric components and related gadgetry that input, process, output, store, and communicate data according to the instructions encoded in computer programs or software. Software is defined as a collection of data or computer instructions that tell the computer how to work. It is a combination of these two things that allows this incredible vehicle to function on its own. The major hardware components of autonomous vehicles are sensors, vehicle-to-vehicle and vehicle-to-infrastructure technology, and actuators. The software components are perception, planning, and control. The hardware of the autonomous vehicle is what allows the car to interact with the environment. Through these things, the car can see, communicate, and move. The software components of the car are basically the brain. They process the information that the car receives through the hardware and decide which action to take. As you can see, a lot of different systems must work together to make an autonomous vehicle function properly. There are always improvements being made to the hardware and software of these vehicles to make them safer in our society. Tesla is an example of a company who is always updating and improving their software and hardware elements in their autonomous vehicles for the safety of the customers. This year, they installed a new onboard computer with over 40 times the computing power of the previous generation. It runs the new Tesla-developed neural net for vision, sonar, and radar processing software. Together, this system provides a view of the world that a driver alone cannot access, seeing in every direction simultaneously and on wavelengths that go far beyond the human senses. Tesla states that their enhanced autopilot software has begun rolling out, and features will continue to be introduced as validation is completed, subject to regulatory approval. They also update already purchased vehicles through what they call over-the-air updates. These updates activate new safety features in the vehicles.
Now we will talk about the various costs of autonomous vehicles. The cost of autonomous vehicles is one of the main reasons why the average American steers away from cars like Teslas when car shopping. The average autonomous vehicle ranges between $70,000 and $100,000, while the average amount a buyer is willing to pay for a new car is only $30,000. Autonomous vehicles' cost depend on their make, model, and their level of autonomy. The Tesla Model S, which is considered a Level 3 due to its autopilot capabilities that allow it to self-drive and self-park, run for $78,000. The Audi A8 is also a Level 3 due to its traffic jam pilot, which allows the car to brake and accelerate in situations like traffic jams, and runs for $83,800. The Cadillac CT6 is a Level 2 due to Super Cruise that allows hands-free operation of the vehicle, and this car runs for $86,795. The technology used in these autonomous vehicles drives prices up. Google is currently working on a fully automated car that is extremely innovative, technical, and advanced. This car is expected to lead the industry of autonomous vehicles, but is unsaid whether Google will sell to companies or have the car for sale to individuals. These cars are estimated to cost $150,000 or more, and this is due to their full Level 5 autonomy. The most expensive piece of technology used in these cars is the LiDAR system. This system, modified by Google, has 64 lasers, which spin at 900 RPM and give a 360-degree view to the driver. The software then uses Google Maps to obey traffic laws and road rules and detect hazards ahead. This piece of technology alone costs $75,000. Moving on, we will see that the cost of autonomous vehicles are actually expected to go down in years to come. In 2014, it cost about $200,000 to build a completely self-automated car. By 2015, this dropped $50,000. And by 2030, costs of the self-driving car feature are expected to only increase the cost of a car by $1,000. These cost decreases are due to technological advancements in volume of autonomous cars being produced. If the demand for these cars continue to go up by companies such as Uber, Lyft, and Domino's who want to get ahead of the self-driving taxi and pizza delivery industry, then costs will continue to go down.
Autonomous vehicles offer a great deal of benefits to both business and consumer markets. The largest and most widely talked about factor is safety and how we can lower the millions of accidents that occur each year. Self-sufficient vehicles have the ability to reduce accidents caused by human error, which currently resides at 93%, according to the National Highway Safety Administration. With fewer accidents, we can ensure that there is reduced highway congestion and shorter drive times. There is a specific term called platooning, where independent cars are grouped together using electric coupling, enabling simultaneous braking and acceleration. This will allow traffic to flow at a much more effectual pace. This level of efficiency will allow consumers to travel with optimized timing and security, while also offering passengers the opportunity to multitask. Consumers are thrilled with the idea of having a mobile that will transport them safely and accurately with little to no supervision. Our business consumers will have the opportunity to increase their daily productivity with autonomous vehicles by transporting their products nonstop, thus creating a shorter freight time and also a shorter wait time for consumers. With this type of technology, the best routes will always be chosen to heighten reliability. With less fuel consumption and decreased labor, Businesses will have the opportunity to invest money in other areas to maximize cost efficiency. Overall, if successful, these cars could greatly benefit the business, transportation, and logistics department. Unforeseen risks are always at hand when implementing new automobile technology into our society. Questions are bound to arise when different scenarios begin to unfold and dangers are brought to the forefront of disaster. If two driverless vehicles get into an accident and one or both parties is seriously injured, which driver will be at fault? What will happen if a car is parking itself and it hits a pedestrian? What insurance company will cover the damages incurred, and how will we ensure that pedestrians and bystanders won't be put into danger while autonomous vehicles work out the kinks? The level of unknown variables plays a huge role in the transitioning process being extremely lengthy. These are all risks that the insurance industry will have to take into consideration when taking on new liabilities. Once these flaws are worked out and a certain insurance company or few companies step up to insure users, it is likely that the smaller insurance businesses will become obsolete in the market, causing them to close and have internal issues. Another risk to take into consideration are the undeniable GPS malfunctions that occur on a regular basis. This will be the primary routing function for automatic vehicles, and if a system glitches, it could cause major issues for the passengers or surrounding objects. Another major risk is the possibility of the systems being hacked, which could lead to endless horrible scenarios. Security will have to be heightened and tested before the vehicle is safe from sabotage. As we transition into the imminent evolution to autonomous cars, we can look further into what our future has in store.
The future of autonomous vehicles. Just like every other industry that is growing technologically each year, the automobile industry is no exception. 2018 has been a huge year for autonomous vehicles and their advancements in the world of technology. Now, when you buy a 2018 or later vehicle, you're experiencing so many new features that can help you drive safer and smarter. There are features such as connected mobile apps where you can control things like the starting, locking, and unlocking of your cars. Teen driver technology for the parents of new drivers to monitor what their kids are doing behind the wheel so they know they are safe. And also adaptive cruise control, which some cars are now using an array of sensors built into the car. Adaptive cruise control can match the speed of the car in front of you, meaning you don't need to constantly hit the gas and brake in highway traffic, therefore making your driving safer. Other features that all new cars are about to acquire are Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which gives your car a personal screen so that it becomes something familiar to you. Additional USB ports are another new addition because people are always needing a space to plug in their phones for charging on the go, and has become a very standard feature in cars. Lane departure warning is another feature, and this is a huge advancement because the cameras in cars help determine if a car has drifted across a marked lane line and gives the driver a notification so that they don't cross over. The feature of automatic emergency braking, or AEB, is something that the auto industry plans on making a standard in cars by 2022 to up the safety of driving. Finally, the 360-degree camera to eliminate crashes is another feature because in a lot of driving accident cases with big cars and parking, the 360 camera eliminates any risk of a crash. All of the advancements mentioned are for 2018 and 2019 vehicles, which shows promise for the advancements that are to come in the future. All of these advancements are going to become a standard in cars soon and will leave room for further advancements to happen. The auto industry is ever changing and improving and will continue to do so as the years progress. And now you can see that this is our works cited page. These are all the sources that we used for our presentation, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.